Welcome to Recovering Addict. I'm LT. I'm an alcoholic addict. This is your first time here. Thanks for stopping in and tuning in and watching. This is a channel dedicated to relapse prevention. And how do we prevent relapse? Like, what the heck is relapse even all about? Relapse is when your recovery becomes dysfunctional. If you stop doing the things that you did to get sober, which is living an honest program, talking honestly and open about your problems and facing all that stuff and going to meetings and learning, educating, growing, and taking care of yourself in a positive way on the path of recovery. When that becomes dysfunctional, up here, you're relapsing. And eventually that leads you right back to using drugs or old habit thinking, dry drunk syndrome, and all that kind of stuff. 2 times in my life, I've hit rock bottom. In between all that, I was not in recovery. I've made many mistakes. Recovery didn't kick in. I didn't learn or buy in or, even really know about it until I was like 40. And once it finally clicked and I understood the happiness and peace that can come out of a lifestyle change like recovery, did I even work a program? Did all kinds of drugs, living in dissatisfaction, working day to day, all that good stuff. Justin Sweet, good morning, brother. Glad you're here. Thank you. Peace thumbs up. So we're going to check out that podcast that we've been going through over the last little while. We're tuned back into it. And he's going to talk a little bit about failure. And why failure is a good thing. Because we learn, we grow, we get uncomfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. Even like in real physical life, growth is uncomfortable. Remember, how many of you as kids had growing pains, like literal physical growing pains in your legs or knees or joints? My sister had them real bad. Growth hurts. It can be uncomfortable, but it's worth it because you get bigger, stronger. You learn more. The wiser you get, the better life is. You know what I mean? The Just for Today says new levels of honesty. Let's check that out. We've been experts at self-deception and rationalization. Self-deception. Ooh, that's a tough one to swallow, isn't it? What? You mean I've been lying to myself and I actually believe my lies? Yep. When we first come to our first meeting and hear that we must be honest, we may think, well, now that shouldn't be too hard. I can do that. All I got to do is stop lying. To some of us, this does come easily. We no longer have to lie to our employers about our abstinence from work. We no longer have to lie to our families about where we were the night before. By not using drugs anymore, we find we have less to lie about. Some of us may have difficulty even with the kind of honesty, but at least learning not to lie is simple. You just don't do it, no matter what. With courage, determined practice, the support of our fellow people in recovery, NA, RA, AA, and the help of our higher power, most of us eventually succeed at this kind of honesty. What does chapter 5 say in the big book? The ones that don't succeed, the ones that fail, have the inability to be honest. And that's with themselves and with others. Honesty, though, means more than not to just not lie. It means more than that. The kind of honesty that is truly indispensable in recovery is self-honesty, which is neither easy nor simple to achieve. In our addiction, we created a storm of self-deception and rationalization, a whirlwind of lies in which the small, quiet voice of self-honesty could not be heard. To become honest with ourselves, we first must stop lying to ourselves. In our 11th step meditation, we must become quiet. Then, in the rustling stillness, we must listen for the truth. When we become silent, self-honesty will be there for us to find. Just for today, I will quiet the still listening. I will be quiet and still listening for the voice of truth within myself. I will honor the truth and find it. Look in the mirror. See what needs to be changed. Face the truth. Hard facts. Not easy. Hi, Crystal. Good morning.
Here's an important thing too. Failure is important.
It is important.
Failure is important. Joe Rogan says as we start going through this, and we're just going to bounce through it and talk about it and listen and learn, and then we're going to apply this to our lives, put ourselves in positions of failure, because failure, what comes with failure to accomplish something that you may fail at is fear, right? So we're going to overcome fears to do this, because you got to change. You got to make those changes.
I think failure teaches you things that you don't learn from success. I think failure gives you an opportunity for self-examination, and also gives you a feeling that is very uncomfortable. And that very uncomfortable feeling helps you grow. That when you feel like you screw something up, like when I've had bad podcasts, my podcast has always gotten better afterwards. When I've had bad stand-up sets, I've always gotten better after that, because those bad sets motivate you. They give you a perspective like, hey, here's some clear examples of where you up.
Yeah, what not to do.
Yeah, don't look at these failures as like proof that you suck. Look at them as opportunities for growth. Look at them as opportunities to be motivated to do better. You have to make mistakes. You've been there, you feel it, you understand what it is, and then you have that time to adjust.
That's something I'm learning right now with my little 75 hard challenge. So if you haven't been here before, I'm on a 75 hard challenge, which consists of, I've challenged myself to do a morning live stream every morning. This is number 72. I've done a daily vlog so I can learn my camera, editing, uploading, that whole thing. 2 workouts and a clean diet, and gratitude and admiration, right? I've learned a lot about my videos and uploading them, because I want to reach a lot of people. I want to be very successful on Facebook and YouTube, and grow, and then drive that to Recovering Addict so that it can grow, and that we can spread the message that we have to offer in relapse prevention to help people sustain a life that's never going to lead back to drugs, but that's going to only lead to happiness. And then through their life, they can affect other people in their lives, and just watch this spiderweb growth of peace and happiness in the world. You know what I mean? Hopefully that happens, and it's not going to happen unless I try. And what I'm learning is my videos are half-assed at best. And I get to now go back after this challenge is over and look at all that I've done and learned and make it better. Just like he said on his bad podcast, on his bad sets, anything that he's done out in public that he's tried to get better at, because Joe Rogan at one time was unknown, living in a car, like all these people, like the Joe Rogans, the Elon Musks, successful people that we look at and admire what they're doing now, that we see because they're finally have gained enough attention for us to, think that their life is cool or important enough to pay attention to. What we don't see is the years and years of struggle, of missing car payments, of eating out of garbage cans, like grinding in the ditches to become who they are, which required them to press on when nobody was looking, when they would fall, when they would fail, and to keep getting up and getting better and learning from what they've done. And that's what this challenge has done for me. It's put myself in a very uncomfortable position. It's putting stuff on the internet that's not great, and I have to swallow my pride and all that kind of stuff, and really face the facts of how good I really am at this stuff. And then I'm going to be better at it. I'm going to be better for it. Life's short. We got to do this stuff.
That's why losing in life is so important. Whether it's getting dumped, getting fired, losing a game, loss, those feelings where things didn't work out your way, that's important, because it lets you know this is the bad feeling that comes when it goes wrong, and you improve, and then it makes the good feelings of victory all the better. And I mean that, in a relative sense, like even getting good at something, forget about victory, like making a terrible book that gets rejected by every publisher, and then writing a really good one and people accept it, and you're like, I got better. Yes. Like that's feeling.
Interesting. Yeah.
Those feelings of failure are really critical for your motivation. You see an old person walking down the street, you go, oh, that person's always been an old person. No, that was a baby. That was a baby that became a 90-year-old man. There's a progression that you're not witness to. You don't see it. And that takes place in everything. It takes place in authors. It takes place in comedians and musicians. There is a starting point, and then with time and focus, and as long as you reevaluate and reassess and constantly objectively look at what you're doing and then pursue it with passion and focus, you get better at things. Don't be scared of failure. I think failure is awesome for you. And that's
another thing that happens during this like he just basically said what I was saying just a second ago, is you see these people that we admire now, but we don't see the struggle they went through to get there, the learning, the growth, the failure before the one hit or whatever it is. You know what they got that we don't have, or that you may not have because you are afraid to try, for one. They overcame that fear, but then they were patient. A lot of us want this success to happen overnight. We change our diets for 3 days. 3 days I've eaten clean and I've drank water and I step on the scale and I look in the mirror and I don't see any results and nobody's complimented me. I give up. We're not patient enough. Or we start reading books and educating our minds, and then all of a sudden we have a repeat episode of anxiety and relapse into a negative mind, which leads us down to a path of, adrenaline rushes and being upset, or using drugs and then relapse in just a lapse type of a way and fail and give up, right? Instead of continuing to press, get up, get back on the bike if you fall off, get back on the horse if you fall off, type of thing, and continue to pursue no matter what people are saying around you. Got to have patience. And that's what they did. They had patience and kept overcoming through even adversities.
It's one of the reasons why, like I said, I like doing things that I suck at. I just feel like people need inspiration and they need guidelines. And if as long as you could just start moving, just get action, like you're just getting just movement. So for a few months, I was staying with my grandmother, who was on death's door. She lived like a year or so after I moved out, and she wasn't really aware of me anymore. She was not quite there anymore. And my grandfather, who was struggling to take care of her and just seemed sad. And I remember thinking, man, this life is temporary. Like, this experience that I'm experiencing right now as a 24-year-old man, like, this is not going to last. Like, this is the prime of my youth. And it like hardened my ideas that, like, you got to get going. This is going to happen to you too. It's going to happen to all of us. And you think that you're this static thing, like you stay in the same exact state. It's not true. It's an illusion. All those people that you see that are old people that are walking down the street with their backs hunched over, that you're going to reach that age someday. It's going to happen. And if you don't pay attention and it all goes wrong, you could wind up looking like that guy. You could wind up thinking and behaving like that guy. It is a slow ebbing of the life force of the body that's going to drain you. So get your fun out. Get your life out. Just live. You got to live. It's fucking coming. And you got to remember, because if you don't remember, you're going to sleep in. If you don't remember, you're not going to get anything done. If you don't remember, you're not going to have the same focus and determination that you would have with the understanding this is a temporary experience. Over time, I've learned that these people, you're not going to fix them. I used to want to fix them when I was young. I used to want to go, hey man, I see what you're doing. Like, dude, don't do that anymore. Listen, just do this and stop doing that and start doing this. And if you just work towards this, you could be successful. And then a week later, the guy's doing the same shit. You're like, okay, right. I'm wasting a significant amount of my energy on someone who doesn't want to waste any of their energy on themselves. And so managing the community and the tribe that you're in, making sure that you're a good member of that tribe, that you're doing your part. When you're around happy, inspirational people that are successful, it makes you feel better.
Facts of life, eh? Facts of life right there. How temporary is life? It's so true. I think about that all the time. And I just turned 43 last week. My birthday was last week, just turned 43. And I feel like, man, the pursuit that I'm on right now, I don't feel like I have a second to waste. And it drives a little fear in me, because, if I just keep grinding for 4 years, 5, 6, 10 years, all of a sudden I'm in my 50s, right? I'm close to that age. Right now, there's that old proverb that says, the 40s is the old age of your youth, and the 50s, the decade of your 50s is the youth of your old age. When you're 40, you're in the old age of your youth, and when you're 50, you're in the youth of your old age. And man, that just makes me want to drive harder. I don't want to get to 80, 90 years old and realize, it was all temporary. That moment that I feel like was going to last forever, the body that I had, and when I was young enough to actually move and think clear, was going to just continue to be that way is gone. And I didn't do whatever, right? I didn't take that risk. I didn't try that idea. I didn't talk to that person I was afraid to talk to. I didn't apologize to somebody that really, I didn't go see that person that I should have went and said hello to, and now they're gone. All these regrets I don't want to have. I'm going to try to live my life from here forth, because the first 40, I did some good things, and there's a lot of stuff I'm glad I did and that I don't regret. But then there's a lot of time wasted on a lot of stuff I wish I could take back. And guess what, man? The clock does not rewind. And I'm talking to myself here, and that's what gets me out of bed. That's why when my alarm went off this morning and my body said, just a couple more hours, just lay here and do nothing, was, like, we can't forget. And then that's hard thing about focus. And even in recovery, we talk about the blinders coming on. We forget how ugly addiction was in our lives. We only remember like the good things about it. We start pondering and having that euphoric recall of what was awesome during our drunk parties or the rushes we experienced or the wild nights that we had. And we go, maybe, I could probably still do that a little bit. I'm better now. And when we get lazy and complacent, that's when we can get in trouble, because then time is gone. It's crazy, like how fast time flew for me on this 75 challenge that I'm on. When I first started it, the first 3 weeks in, I was like, whoa, what did I get myself into here? This is difficult. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I may fail. It's already hard, right? And I blinked, and I'm on day 72. Time has seemed to have sped up. I don't know. Obviously, it hasn't. It's just time. But man, it seems like it's flying now, like super flying. But I'm glad. Thank you, Geish. Good morning, brother. Thank you for the happy birthday. Dottie, glad you're here. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. Appreciate that. Give me a heart. Give me a like. Give me a share if you're getting any value out of this. If this is helping you, let me know. And if there's any like ways that you see this can improve, don't be afraid to give me some criticism, man. More the merrier. I got blinders on too, I got blinders on too.
And you get inspired. And if you act on that inspiration, your life will be more fulfilled. And it's not just inspirational in terms of financial success, but in terms of doing difficult things, whether it's running 100 miles, it doesn't pay you a god thing other than the wealth of the knowledge that you can push yourself to such an extreme. Or anything else, whether it's someone who becomes really good at playing chess, or someone who's really good at martial arts, or whatever it is. There's a great feeling in these overcoming these difficult things. I think a lot of what happiness is a management issue, and decisions that you're making right now, like you could be in a state of mind right now, but you can make some decisions to adjust that, and over the next couple hours, you'll get to a much better place.
It's good to treat other people the way you would like to be treated yourself. It's like a fucking golden rule, and there's a reason for it. And that reason is that we're connected in some strange way that we don't totally understand. And unless you are good to other people around you, unless you're kind and friendly and warm and loving, you're not going to fucking enjoy this life. You're just not. You're going to be problems everywhere you go. You're going to have problems everywhere you go. You got to figure out a way to enjoy this life. It's not because of anybody that may or may not have ever existed. It's because that's how you fit in better in the world. That's how you stay positive. And it doesn't have to be some shit that was written 5,000 years ago on fucking animal skins. That doesn't have to be the golden rule because it's old. That's dumb. We need to figure out, like, now, today, what is, the best way to live your life? What is there's got to be ways where you can be putting forward the most positive energy. I mean, we know objectively what's causing pollution. We know objectively what's causing.
What in your life right now can you be doing better to fix things? We were talking about that the other day. I don't remember what day it was, but Jordan Peterson was talking about why fix your life, right? And we kind of led to the example of if your leg is hurting, you're going to fix it because living with a painful ache in your leg sucks. And to live with a miserable life sucks. And that's why it's worth it to try to fix it. And so you aim your mind at yourself with the attitude of what needs to be fixed. And your mind will point the things out to you. Right now, right off the top of your head, drop me in a comment, like, what in your life could you fix right now that would improve your life just a little, because that stuff starts compacting, starts growing over time. Little steps get you far if you just stay consistent with it. What could you fix in your life right now? I know that once I'm finished with this 75 hard challenge, I'm going to still continue to be up here live. I'm not every morning, but I'm going to schedule live streams. Our Sunday night live stream will be back with Felice. I'm going to drop valuable videos on YouTube and on Facebook and other social media platforms. But now that I have the skills I need, the habitual without thinking about it, how to run and operate the systems, now I can focus on ideas and story writing. And that'll be my next challenge to myself, is to hit my schedules, whatever the schedule starts to appear, whatever that's going to look like. And then to focus on putting together valuable stuff for everybody's recovery. That's why we're doing this. Relapse prevention. Tracking every dollar I spend, Willie says. Yeah, I could use some of that fixing in my life too. Swipey swipe, swipe. How much is that? I don't even look anymore. You're just like, swipe. I want it. Give me swipe. Huh. I know how you feel there, bro. Yeah, I could definitely fix paying attention to my budget. Like, do I really need to go spend this $8 right this second because I think I want that right this second? That's a good one. That's a darn good one. Geesh says the same. I bet a lot of us can agree with that for sure. So that's what Joe Rogan thinks. A little bit right there today. Get out, get uncomfortable, put yourself in a position to fail, learn, grow, because before you know it, you're going to be 90 years old. I just saw my grandpa. He's in the hospital down in Vegas. It's weird. Like, I'm at that point in my life, my mid 40s, to where my aunts and uncles and my grandparents, if I still have them around, I have one grandparent left, and my grandpa, he's the only one kicking it still. And he's old, man. He's getting close to 100. And so I'm at this age in my life where the average life of a human is ending for a lot of people that I looked up to when I was a child, that seemed like they would be around forever. Over this last few years, I've lost my grandma, my aunts and uncles, some other people in life. And then, I'm at that age to where that generation is starting to die off. And then my generation and me, I'm moving into that. I'm not the young parent anymore. I don't have the little kids and babies and strollers and diaper bags. I have my youngest kid's 11 now. My oldest kid's 18. I'm in that stage, right? And as soon as that generation starts fading off, I'm going to move into the next generation, the empty nester generation. And during all this, I want to accomplish goals that I won't live life regretful when my house is empty and quiet. All that's left is me and Felice and our dog, right? And my dog will be old by then too. And then all of a sudden we're going to turn into the grandparents. And then I will reach the age of where my generation's done. Generation X has moved on, right? Baby boomers, we're going to start having we're going to start seeing this stuff in the news. The last baby boomer on earth is 99 years old. You know what I mean? And then it's going to move on into Generation X. Here's the last lone surviving Generation X person, the oldest Generation X to live. And then it's on to the millennials. And then as we go, I just see generations of people just come and go. Life is so short, fragile. Get out and do something. Scary to think about, but it's a fact of life. We can't continue just to rock on like it's not there. Anyway, that's me preaching to me. Let's check out our stop screen share. Challengers. And we go to our 30-day challengers. Savage Freedom with her journaling. Good job. Reading, exercising. Look at her little color chart. That's cool. Vitamins and devotional and Bible study. Very sick. I love it. Good job, Savage Freedom. Geesh. taking his cool pictures with his pens, journaling. What is this? Midwest gym trails. So is that showing you like rocks and stuff in the Midwest to look at, or is it showing you trails in the Midwest that are good to hike on? I got a book like that here. It's like Northern Utah. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I see. Kind of gives you a full description and details of everything, huh? I need to go for a bike ride. I'm feeling so depressed and exhausted today. Dreaming of the mountains, that cool thin air. I've got to figure out how to turn these feelings into motivation somehow. Just get on and start riding, bro. And ride fast. And then come up with a plan and apply for a job out here in Utah and work for the city out here. That would be cool. Then we go riding every day. Jen Ray, still rocking it. Renee, taking her pictures on her walks, drinking her water. Love it. Wada, 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 wada. Behind in the water today. That's okay. Guzzle it down. It's about building habits. It's hard to maintain. It's hard to stick with, but habits form. Practice and trying. Water, living clean. Oh, look at that. She's like, hey, take my picture. Very nice. Good job. Love Miss Happiness. Love it. Good job, y'all. We're getting close to the end of June already. My goodness. What are we? June 21st. We only got a handful of days left. Wow. Time flies. Time flies. Better get it while the getting is good, huh? While you still can move and think, and you ain't got as many wrinkles as you're going to have here in the future. Right on, everybody. Well, I'm going to go get my workout on. So until tomorrow, y'all, do not put yourself in a high-risk situation. Stay strong, work your programs, and remember, we recover better together.